Hello everybody, Lurgs here, welcome to my channel, and today it's the Nissan Juke, the dashboard warning lights and what they mean. Now there are three different colours for your dashboard warning lights. Anything that is green or blue is for information only. Anything that is in yellow is important. You need to check that out as soon as you can, but keep an eye on the warning light. And anything that stays red is stop the vehicle and check it immediately. Critical or major damage could occur if you carry on driving. If any of the dashboard warning lights stay on, it's a good idea to get an OBD2 reader and try and find out what that actual error message is. And there's a link above now about the OBD2 port location on this Nissan Juke. And it's completely normal for all the dashboard lights to come on when you put the ignition on, and they should all go off once you start driving. When you first climb into your Nissan Juke, you will notice this car icon flashing that's got a key symbol in it. This is part of your alarm and immobiliser system and the security system. This is normal to flash when you get in, but this light should go out as soon as you start the engine.
11 o'clock. Here's the latest.
When you put the ignition on, the computer will start a few checks, and at the top here we've got some information saying that the oil is good. Right, let's get cracking with the rest of the lights. And this icon here I've already covered when we first got in the motor, but if that stays on you've got a problem with your security system. If you've got a Nissan Juke diesel engine, you may get this glow plug light come on when you turn the ignition on. This preheats the glow plugs to help the engine start, so this will definitely stay on longer when it's colder weather. And that is nothing to worry about as long as the light goes out. If the light stays on, then you've got a problem with your glow plugs. Now on the Nissan Juke, it may be a glow plug warning, it may be this service engine soon light, or it could be this icon on the right hand side here. Okay, so the first one on the instrument panel is the engine coolant temperature gauge. Obviously if this gets anywhere near the top, near the hotch, you need to pull over because you do not want to be carrying on driving if the engine is overheating. And this one is pretty self-explanatory. This is the fuel gauge. Again, don't let this get too low. If it gets really low, then you start to pick up sludge and dirt from the bottom of your fuel tank, which is not good for your engine. And this gauge here is the outside temperature. You can change this to Fahrenheit, but this is set at centigrade and it's currently 18 degrees. Toasty. Now this light here only applies if you've got an automatic gearbox, so this would currently be in park mode. If it's an automatic gearbox, this shows you what gear you're in. If you've got a manual gearbox, you may have a gear stick icon on here. This just advises you when to change up or when to change down, just to keep it nice and economical. And these are the left and right indicators. If both of these are flashing, it means obviously you've got your hazard lights on. CVT means continuously variable transmission. This is where you do not have a gearbox as such, it's just a seamless transition as it gets faster and faster. If this light is permanently on, it means you've got a problem with it. This is the airbag warning light, so get that checked out because you've got a problem with your airbags. This means your engine requires servicing, and on different models it may look like this. There is a problem with the engine oil pressure. Do not drive any further. Get that checked out immediately. This means that you've got your side lights or your headlights on, your dipped beams. And if you've got this icon on your dashboard, it means that you've switched on your fog lights. This is the intelligent key warning system. Now this could be something as simple as your key fob needs a new battery, and there's a link above now about how to replace that. It could also be a problem with your immobiliser system. Try using your spare key if you've got one. This is the TPMS warning light, and this stands for tyre pressure monitoring system. If this stays on, it means the tyre pressure in one of your tyres is incorrect. Now it could be that you've got a slow puncture, or you just need to pump up some of your tyres. When you've pulled over, pump up all the tyres to the correct pressures and then reset the tyre pressure monitoring system. And there's a link above now about how to do that. The all-wheel drive warning lights. Now this can be either this light or the other light. This means you've got a problem with your all-wheel drive system. Get that checked out. Your high beam headlights are on. Very dark, is it? The vehicle dynamic control system has been switched off, and you can switch this off manually from inside your car using a button. It just means that you have control over the power of the front wheels. Now normally when this is on, the computer will take control and stop the wheels from spinning, maybe if it's in snowy conditions or very wet conditions and you put your foot down really hard. But you may want to override this. This is the vehicle dynamic control warning light. This will just flash on if the wheels have skidded or you've gone around a corner and it's wet or it's icy and the wheels are failing to get good traction. This is the battery charge warning light. If this stays lit, it probably means you've got a problem with your alternator. So the battery isn't charging while you're driving along. Get that checked out. This is the engine start indicator light. This basically means that you're okay to start the engine. It's normally only on automatic vehicles to make sure that you're in park mode. PS. Now this doesn't mean PS I've got something to tell you. This means PS power steering. So you've got a problem with your power steering, and you probably know you have because it'll be really hard to steer. Get that checked out. If this stays permanently lit, it means somebody has not got their seatbelt on. Tut tut tut, clunk click every trip. One of the doors on the vehicle is open. The brake warning light, this normally means that you've got the handbrake on. And on slightly different models it may look like this. Now if this ABS light is permanently on, it means you've got a problem with your anti-lock braking system. It's probably due to one of the sensors on the wheels which needs replacing. So get that checked out as soon as possible. I hope that's been useful to you and you don't see any red icons too often. And here's a list of others that I may not have covered from the Nissan Juke handbook. Enjoy your Nissan Juke and safe driving to you. I hope you found that useful. Up here is a video on how to disconnect a car battery safely, and over on this side is a link on how to check your car battery using a multimeter. Thank you for visiting my channel everyone, I really appreciate it.